The following podcast contains some strong language and adult themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Enjoy. Can I just tell you guys what it's like to be co-host of a podcast with an influencer? You gotta look at his phone all the time.
Here we go. Who gave you the title co-host?
Oh, look at this guy. You guys should have seen the chair he had for me.
I gave you the big chair. I go, we're rolling now, huh? Sorry.
On this episode of the show, we're going to talk about lessons that are great for kids and parents.
Yeah.
You found this list. We're going to go over this list. I think that's kind of fun.
I did. Not easy lessons, but we're talking about, I think.
Yeah, it's worth it for sure. Speaking of lessons, since we don't officially have sponsors yet, which we're open to.
Yeah.
I would like some Athletic Greens commercial to come in right about now. People that listen to podcasts get that joke. There's a lot of AG1. However, AG1's pretty good. Oh, dang it. I just gave him a commercial free. What am I doing? Yeah, that's okay. Don't say it anymore. Every time, when I say it, it's worth about 12 cents. When you say it, it's worth about
10.
$12.
I thought you were going to go lower than 10. I was like,
no, I appreciate you.
AG1.
Don't stop.
Okay. They might do it just because of this. This
could
be their Super Bowl commercial.
You're devaluing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Bowl 54.
I'm going to get Taylor
with our sponsors.
Nope.
2.
Thank you.
We're the new owner.
Taylor understands what we're doing here.
She's great. Not as great as AG1.
Oh wait, I'll go back. There it is. She's here.
Taylor is here.
And Willow the dog is here, who you can see. I think just her ears.
Yeah.
She was sitting right by you a second ago. It was kind of nice.
She was. She hasn't had her AG1.
Stop! You're giving them free commercials.
They might give us free. I don't know. Whatever.
If we get AG1, all we're going to do is figure out a way to give it to the community.
Okay, that's fine. I don't even know what it is.
It's like athletic. I can't say
it's their job to teach me.
If you want to pay me and him, but mostly him, I just get a little snippet.
AG1. Little snippet. God. Can we talk about what that is when we're raising our hands?
Yeah, listen. Do you want to tell the story?
I think it's your story, so I'm just here to raise hands. I'll let you go first. I'll take the seconds.
Oh, it makes me look like a... This is payback for the last episode, isn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
I love you, though. So, as we all know, many people, I'm looking down the barrel when I do this because I think it's important that I look straight in the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And have to admit up to this.
That always works out.
As many of you know, we're all Office fans. We enjoy The Office. And one of the greatest lines from The Office is, "That's what she said." Well, that is offensive. And we no longer say it on film sets because it is offensive. So what has happened is, instead of saying it, you just silently raise your hand. Yeah. So if you're ever on a film set and you just see people raising their hand, just know that they are somewhere, whether you heard it or not, responding to some statement with, "That's what she said." But like this. That's what it means.
Gosh, we can't even say that's what... Remember, everybody felt such a break and a relief when it's like, finally, The Office gave us a way to say what we were all thinking.
Yeah.
Without offending anyone.
Right. And now we just raise our hands.
Yeah.
But that's
polite.
It is polite.
Good lesson.
Speaking of lessons.
Yeah. Indigestion.
I had a little burp ski.
I have less burp skis.
I'm going to fold this.
Okay.
I'm folding this over.
Oh, no.
So my 5th grade teacher, this is a true story. Oh, God, what a lame toss. Oh, wait, let's cue Taylor, who's going to have... You're not on camera. It's all right. You can do it the right way. Look how terrible that's a very good... That's hand model work right there.
Hand model.
That's some George Costanza hand model
May
work.
I please have it? It says AG1.
No, stop. You're giving so much money away.
I'm kidding.
True story. This came from my 5th grade teacher. And I think it's important. This is a lesson. This is true. This is absolutely true. So in this bag, I'll show what it is in a second.
Okay.
She gave it to my mom's friend, who then gave it to my mom, and my mom gave it to me. I'm going to let you read this.
Okay.
This is from a teacher that I apparently had an impact on.
Okay.
But in turn had a major, for real, my 5th grade teacher, I have 3 teachers in my life that changed my life.
Wow.
She's number 1. She
Okay.
was because she was my 5th grade teacher that shifted everything for me and made me understand things. And then I had a collegiate teacher who took the time to give me a Sundance hat. She gave me a Sundance Film Festival hat and said, I believe in you. She was my history teacher, not even a film teacher. It's so crazy.
Wow.
And then I had a film teacher named Leah Hotchkiss who completely believed in me in an insane way. Like just totally let me do my batshit crazy ideas as a filmmaker. Like huge deal. But it all starts with this lady.
Okay. So do I read it now?
Yeah, go ahead. Just read it out loud.
Okay.
You've never read it. I just think
I
it's kind of
haven't.
interesting. This is like a completely raw, weird scenario, and I'll show what it is when we're there. Okay.
Okay.
I'll switch over to you. There you go.
Drew, as you know, it was my joy and privilege to teach you in 5th grade. You were a young man who took his schoolwork seriously, was
False.
kind to everyone, and always very respectful. In other words, you were a joy to teach, and your parents were supportive of me and everything connected with school. I've enjoyed watching you continue in your walk with the Lord, finding a career and a godly life mate. It gives me great pleasure to think of you as a dad to your 2 young daughters. I know your parents are the greatest grandparents your daughters could be blessed with. When I see your mom, I enjoy hearing about their adventures and projects. Well, in my class at Cottage Hill, you gave me this cherub for Christmas. It has held a place of honor on my china cabinet door and faithfully reminded me of our time together. I am returning it. Oh,
Right. This is
No.
crazy. This is nuts.
no.
No, it's a legit thing. This is why I wanted to share it with you. It's not that letter that matters. It's the fact that, like,
As soon as I'm returning it for your daughters to enjoy, and maybe you will share some of your school memories with them. I pray the Lord will continue to bless you and your family as you walk with him and honor him. In Jesus. Barbara.
no, you don't have to. Just let's go with that. I
Barbara.
don't know if she wants somebody.
Yeah. Miss
So,
Barbara. Wow.
here it is. This is it. On the back, it says Drew Hall, 1989.
Wow.
This lady is kept a teacher. This is what I'm saying is important. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This teacher has kept that. Obviously, she's a Christian woman. That's great. That's nice. I appreciate it. But she's kept. This is a dinky little. Like this is what you give your teacher back in the day. That well,
What'd you call it? Tchotchke?
A tchotchke.
Tchotchke?
I can only imagine my mom now that I'm a parent that has to give gifts to teachers. Right. I've never given anything that. But I imagine my mom's like, oh shit, we got to give a gift. Just
give
go to
this
the
cherub.
Just give him this cherub,
Yeah.
right? But that meant something to that person.
Wow.
And in turn, that lady really did. Miss Barbara meant a lot to me. I just thought it was fascinating. That came this week, and I thought it was interesting just because we've talked before. There it is. We've talked before about like how like a lot of your community as teachers. We've talked before about the impact that people have on your lives.
Sure.
We've talked about the community impact. We talk about these things on the show a good bit about this major impact. And here I get a letter that is literally out of the blue, unprovoked, unplanned, unthought about of this person who kept this little tchotchke of a cherub. It's not even a particularly great looking thing, but kept it because it was important to her. I think that speaks to the power. When we think about lessons in life and pushing forward, it was very appropriate that that's what we teed up for this particular topic. I think that speaks to the power of like when you really connect with somebody, whether you're teaching them or you're learning from them, there's depth there that just doesn't exist any other way. Like that's the human connection. That's the thing that everybody in the world's after. And it's so weird that we pay teachers the least amount of money to be that important in our lives.
Oof.
Like, think about that for a second. That lady has carried this tchotchke. I am 45 years old, folks. 1989, let me do some math. I was 9 or 10 years old. She's carried that long. So that means if she was probably in her 40s.
Yeah.
Holy Nikes, I'm just thinking about it right now.
Well, think of the value of that thing.
Right.
Without the story.
Correct.
It's what, $8.99 maybe back then, or $5.99, but now
It was probably
seems
$3.99.
oddly
Yeah, maybe 99 cents.
maybe 45 cents.
Why are we going down? Your
know.
negotiation skills are so bad.
We'll
Step-
settle. We'll settle.
Step-
We'll settle
Taylor
at
says
40.
You just
Crushed
keep
it.
going.
Seems oddly priceless now, doesn't it?
Oh, it's just heavy on my soul. I thought I would share it with you because I think it's interesting based on the conversation we've had about teachers and stuff. Here is a teacher that remembers me, not because just I was a good student,
Yeah.
but like that lived on.
Yeah.
Right. And I've told you that it's not hyperbole for me to say she's one of the 3 most important teachers in my entire life. Right.
Yeah.
So from an educator perspective, she's always been there with me. It's because she believed in me, because I started showing this creative outlet when I was getting into my teenage years, and she understood it and encouraged it. She didn't push it away. She didn't push me aside. She paid attention to me.
Yeah.
That's magic.
So did that hang on her Christmas tree? I'm guessing.
No, she said on her china cabinet
On her
doors.
china cabinet door. Yeah.
So it's been there for her to look at since 1989. That's stupid.
That's the year after I was born. That was 30. Sorry, you okay? Just made him spit out his.
That makes me feel so old.
30, almost 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Gave me this cherub for Christmas, and then she kept it on her china cabinet door. It's interesting too that.
Do you think she went and bought a matching one?
Yeah, she totally has the real one. That's a replica.
No.
No,
Taylor says
no.
The 2 insensitive dudes say no.
I guarantee what she did is when you gave that to her, she wrote your name on it and the year so that she would always remember who gave it to her and what year it came from.
Dang.
That is definitely not my handwriting. That's feminine handwriting.
That's a teacher's handwriting.
Ooh, look at her.
So it's interesting
She's like
too
Batman
because
over
I'm curious. One, she sent it now, yeah, recently. She's given you plenty of time to think, which is I'm curious why it came now,
Right.
and I'm curious what it did for her at that time.
Because she's straight up on TikTok.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
She probably is.
What if she is, though?
I hope she follows me. If she doesn't, Miss Barbara.
It's that camera.
Oh, okay.
Let me get it for you.
Shoot me a follow, Miss Barbara, and I'll.
Just,
I gotta plug it.
you just pedaled.
You don't have to. You don't have to send me anything either. I just appreciate you.
But if you do follow him, he'll send you a cherub. And what if we send the exact same one back? I'm sorry, I'm terrible.
30 years from now.
Oh,
Wow. No, I think it's interesting that it came now, especially a tie to It's a Wonderful Life is very interesting.
there's what I thought was exciting is that shows up. I picked that up. Let's see, I dropped my kids off. That would have been, my mom keeps the kids on a certain day. So it was earlier this week. So I've been sitting on it, and I was like, man, I gotta share this with Ed. I'm gonna wait and let him experience this because I think it's kind of neat. And I do feel like it's a little bit kismet in the sense that, like, I use that word a lot on the show. Good grief. I think it's a little
time.
bit. Yeah, thank
Fourth
you.
time.
Thank you.
Say it again.
Well, no.
We could do a Kismet counter.
We can do an AG1 counter.
AG.
Stop.
You
giving-
said it first.
I know, but
You
if I
started
say it, it's only worth 12 cents. I've only spent 36 cents.
Don't discount yourself. 13 cents. Lucky number.
You're fantastic.
You're subpar.
But
I'm sorry. I'm joking.
Wow, this
We're
show-
getting chummy. Is that what they call it?
yeah, it's chummy.
Chummy.
It's chummy. Okay, so with that said, this episode is about lessons,
Yeah.
and you did find this very interesting article. We're gonna call
Yeah.
it for what it is. It's an article on the internet.
I think it's cool that it was written by a single mom too.
Good for her.
But yeah, so this is 30 life lessons learned the hard way. Number 1, not everyone can be forever. Ooh.
God bless. If you go see last episode, we have a whole we have like a whole conversation that awkwardly falls apart halfway through it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
I really love my husband, and I am pretty sure he loved me. But either way, I know he was my first love. And I'm glad I had the experience.
Oh, that's her.
That's her saying that.
Oof, that's heavy.
That's heavy, but that's good too.
Yeah.
Isn't it? But you can hear, I'm curious too. I really love my husband, and I am pretty sure he loved me. Wow.
Pretty sure. Keywords.
Yeah.
We talked about language being powerful.
Yeah.
Choice of words.
I did a video about a year ago, probably. Whoever wrote the Sticks and Stones might break my bones, but words will never harm me, was either confused ignorant, are completely full of shit.
They could have also been a pro wrestler.
Was it a pro wrestler?
No, I'm just saying they could have been because
yeah.
pro wrestlers, like, they have those promos where like,
Oh yeah,
Ed Dudez, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to punch you in the face and kick you in the teeth. Like it's not real.
Dang.
But obviously it is. Like, we understand that it's real.
Sure. In our last episode, I think this, really applies to, we don't always get, number 2, we don't always get closure.
Oh.
Which sucks. I think closure is a good thing, even if it hurts you.
I don't know. But the truth is we don't. So let's talk 2 seconds to talk about closure.
Yeah.
Have you ever been fired?
No, not technically.
Well, man, I've been fired 5 times.
Oof.
I've literally been fired from jobs 5 times. One of them by the same guy who's fired me and rehired me 2 of those times. So I guess 3 times.
Okay.
Right? And I'm friends with the guy. He just was in a recent terrible accident, and I'm still friends with him. So I went to check on him at the hospital and stuff.
Yeah.
The other times, I have no idea why I was fired. Legitimately. It's not like I stole something. The first time I was ever fired, I did steal something.
Wow.
But the rest of the times I did not.
Huh.
Yeah. I didn't know I was stealing, though.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll cover that in another one, maybe.
That's, yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's cool. I stole something once. Cherry. I asked my mom if I could have a cherry from the grocery store, and they were like the real cherries. And she
Like
said,
a Bing cherry.
like a what?
Bing?
Bing?
Cherry? Yeah, like the search engine.
Sponsored by Bing?
No, oh my God,
It's got their logo.
No, mm-mm.
Oh,
no more free sponsorships.
Okay.
I'm cutting you off.
you
right
said
there.
Bing cherry.
Bing. It is a Bing cherry.
Well, the one I stole was an Ask Jeeves cherry.
Oh, can you
remember
please?
that?
Can you please curl him back in? Just like pull him back in, like
And
brush
she
the
said,
ice.
She said no. So when she turned her
Yeah.
head, I grabbed it and I ate it. It had the pit, and I didn't know where to
that was
put
a
the
Bing
stem
cherry.
and the pit, and so I gave it to my mom
Oh,
in the parking lot to throw away for me. So I had to go back in the
But
grocery
wait a second.
store
That's like
and pay
the
for
that's
it.
the only thing you ever stole.
Yeah, that I'm aware of. I guess time. People steal time.
Oh, that's a separate conversation.
Oh, that's a huge.
That's
one.
a conversation that can never be on a kid's show because kids don't understand time. They won't.
Maybe
right?
it's a lesson they need to learn.
Ooh, I don't know. Do
I
you
don't
really
know.
want to start out? Do you want to go tell Evelyn that the moment she's born, she's closer to death than she'll ever will be? Like every single second is closer to death.
Yeah, that's kind of a morbid.
Right.
It's the Joker quote I was sharing with you earlier.
sure.
Don't take life too seriously. It's not like you're getting out alive.
Right.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's like basically a countdown, or it's a count up, I guess, depending on how you look at it.
Oh.
Paradigm shift.
Oh, perspective. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a great Yoda quote about that.
You're a young Jedi.
That is the worst.
You're a young Jedi, Luke Solo. I love that movie. Star Trek. Let's go.
Okay. Next one. I have a steel story, but I'm going to save it.
Steel story? Oh, okay.
It's a good one. Like it's about my grandfather.
Okay. That sounds good. Are we going to do it now? We can do it now. People are loving it.
No, I don't think this is the right time for it.
Okay. So next time, maybe.
Yeah, you got to listen to the show.
Number 3.
We got
Good
30
luck.
of these, by the way. It's going to take us 12 hours.
Well, it's good. We're doing well. Love doesn't hurt. That's a lie.
Is that sarcasm?
No, it said love doesn't hurt if it hurts. This is interesting because I read it. I was confused. If it hurts, it's not love. It's just not. And I'm not sure I agree with that all the time.
I don't know if I'm 100% behind that.
Me either. I think it's good to talk about though, because it's like, man, I got love so hard sometimes. Love you, babe.
It fell apart quickly. Wait a second. So let's go back to that for a second.
Now, no knock on Laura, obviously,
No,
because she's
but-
speaking from herself.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's all I love these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
I would argue though that I've been brokenhearted. I was engaged to a young lady.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't have the money for a wedding or for a engagement ring. So all I had was the money for a promise ring. Engaged to her. Loved her. She looked just like Famke Janssen.
Famke Janssen. Yes.
Yeah. From Goldeneye.
Oh, and she was also in X-Men.
Yeah.
Oof.
She looked just like her.
Never heard of her.
Lovely. Thank you.
Love
she was
her.
a lovely young lady. I was truly, deeply, madly in love with her. Like, I mean, I was deeply, and she left me. This is going to sound like I'm setting up a joke. She left me for a guy who looked just like James Dean.
Okay, if you tell me that is Mr. Pickles, I'm going to lose it. If no one knows who Mr. You got to watch the last episode.
No.
James
Mr.
Dean.
Pickles. No,
Well,
she left me for Mr. Pickles would be an Angelina Jolie reference.
Okay.
I can't say the full thing. I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
No, long story. However,
So how'd that feel?
it ripped my guts out. Like, I wanted to marry her.
Sure.
Like, I deeply was in love with this girl so much that I thought it was like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person.
Yeah.
And it ripped it out.
Ugh.
So she wasn't in love with me, but I was in love with her. So my side, the only problem I have with that statement is it doesn't take into account the other person.
Yeah.
It only takes into account one.
Yeah.
Fair?
I like it. I agree. Number 4, I can survive anything. No one died from heartbreak. And it says, heartbreak ends. It's not forever. We can endure more than we give ourselves credit for. I agree with the second part for sure.
Yeah.
We can endure much more than we give ourselves credit for. Sometimes heartbreak lasts forever, though. I think if you're talking about, that's a hard one. I don't think of love as just between a partner. I think that's the thing too at this point.
We talked about last episode on the Friends. Like, I was heartbroken by my friend.
Yeah,
No longer
exactly.
talking to me. Yeah, that hurt.
We're not here. We haven't read through all of these, Laura. So if you're here, we're doing this kind of off the cuff.
Oh, no, it's 100% raw. Like,
yeah.
It's great. It's not a zing on you. It's just raw conversation.
Number 5, if the person loves you, he or she comes back. And it says, when people leave and leave for good, the love is over.
Can I just, real quick, just say I'm sorry to Laura?
Yeah, right.
Like, whatever you went through, I'm going to strong word it.
Yeah.
Just heads up. I'm really fucking sorry. Seriously. Yeah. I really am. Because, like, it sounds like you got royally fucked over. Like, bad. And sometimes people come back. I would say sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Like, I mean, there are people, again, David, like, I'm telling you, I deeply miss that human being.
Yeah.
I really do. Loved him as close as I possibly could, and probably will never see him again.
Oof. And we love Laura. We love her
100%,
name. It
that's
started in a funny way.
Yeah.
Laura Lifshitz. I love you, Laura Lifshitz, and I hope you see this, and I hope you understand that this is real
Fucking
and raw.
shit, yes.
And
for all the raw language that there is in the
yeah.
world, like, there it is. Tough.
If he or she comes back, there was probably a deep connection, unless the person comes back out of convenience or fear, which I have seen happen often. Okay. Number 6. So this seems to be about couples more so. Separated people are not ready. Unless someone has started the divorce process, stay away. They are in limbo and not ready. I don't really have a comment on that. I don't know. I haven't been through it.
I haven't been through it either.
Number 7, you don't need anyone. I want someone, but I don't need anyone. I've been a single parent for 2 years, and guess what? I haven't withered away yet. I like that.
It's good. I mean, it's real truth.
Yeah.
I haven't been a single parent, though.
Yeah, I haven't been a single parent. I've been, like, in those homes.
So if as men that are married to women in this equation,
yeah,
our prospective partners, in my household, I can say that my wife, in my situation, does an incredible amount of work with my children.
Yeah.
I do a lot. I'm there. I'm an active dad. I'm there. But I still struggle with ponytails. I definitely can't do braids. Like I struggle with stuff. So even on the smallest things, like I can't imagine the other side of it. So I have a buddy who works for me. His wife died of cancer at 31 years old.
Ugh.
And he raises 2 boys by himself.
Ugh.
And it's a whole nother beast. The fascinating thing, the blessing for him is that he has 2 boys as a male. He has 2 boys and they identify in that, and that's where they are. He approaches that as if he's with his buddies. So they literally have scheduled nights of kind of doodly events.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's laundry night, bros. And they bro it out.
Hey.
It's like a frat house.
Yeah.
Because that's how he knows how to deal with it.
Sure.
Because his wife and their mother was completely ripped away from them from ALS.
Yeah.
Brutal. So he does. I'm not on that. I'm not in there. I'm not on that equation at all.
Well, I think
whether
it'd be
it's
easy
from divorce or
maybe
death,
some people to walk in and it's like, oh, you're calling your kids bros and stuff. I wouldn't do that. It's like, hold on a second. You don't know shit.
Right.
You got to hold up a second. And that's, don't be too quick to pass judgment.
Yeah. He's a rad dad. He puts in the time for sure.
Number 8, mixed signals are no bueno. If someone is sending you mixed signals, promptly walk away. That's kryptonite right there.
Ooh. We talked a little bit about that.
Is that trust your gut? Is that basically what you said?
That is. How do you tell a kid, though, to trust their gut? How would you tell Evelyn when she's cognizant enough to understand, let's say 6, 7? I wish I had Pearl here. I wish I could ask Pearl.
Yeah.
How do you trust your gut? Because she's
what do you think that feels like? And like, so I immediately thought when you said that, like when you're a kid, and it happens to me as an adult, like when you know you've done something wrong or something's wrong, your face gets hot. Ooh. Like I feel like that's your gut sending you a sign or something.
Unless you're Justina, her face gets hot, like literally. Like she flushes over anything. I'm like, you know this about her. Like I'd be like, hey Justina, why didn't you do this? And like her face gets red. I'm like, that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, like there's no,
you
don't
feel
flush.
Like you're in trouble.
Yeah,
you know?
she flushes
I think
over
that's
everything.
more a trouble signal. Yeah. But I think it's like when you make that face, maybe that's it. Number 9, if he or she lies to him or herself, he or she will lie to you.
That goes back to, that's an Ed Dudez statement. That goes back to the
be kind.
Be kind to yourself.
Mind.
Be kind to your heart. That's right.
If you're with someone in denial, nothing is genuine.
Ooh, that's tough.
That is terribly deep.
That's heavy. Like, how do you even get to that? How do you make the judgment call on that?
I don't know. How do you prove someone in denial? How does someone in denial even know?
Because they're in the denial.
Because they're in it, you know?
I made a water joke.
Oh, they're in denial? Denial River? Dude.
It was a dumb dad joke.
No, right that's there. A great dad joke. Don't discount yourself. But don't ever do it again.
Oh, I got you.
I'm kidding. You should give to give, not receive. Real love means you give because you love the person, not because you're looking for a payback. Yeah, I think. But also it's like, I don't know. We're in this together, you know, and there's, I'd forget to eat if she didn't tell me. But
yeah, you're kind of a freak though.
Oh yeah.
It's a fair statement. I'm looking for confirmation from Taylor, by the way.
What's that? I'm freaky. Real freaking naughty. I'm not real freaking naughty. I'm not a freak.
You know that like saying you should stop while you're ahead? Like there you go.
Never heard it. Maybe I'm in denial. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, I am. Enter with caution. Keep all eyes open when getting involved with someone. Never conveniently cover your eyes to keep yourself from being alone. When you... Taylor?
She had a perfect time. It was absolutely... It was masterful.
Masterful.
Yeah.
When you end up broken and devastated, you will have wished you never got involved in the first place.
Do you think, can I ask you a question about this list?
This is going rough.
It's tough.
This is a tough one.
I don't think kids would understand most of these.
I don't understand any of it.
I don't understand.
We gotta stop this. We're better off not talking. This is all really. I should have read them.
Yeah, that's what happens when we.
Oh my gosh, we gotta.
But how is that? How is that? How is that tied backwards to kids in that space? Like, not those. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying like that's dense stuff. So I think a lot of times what happens is we take adult logic,
Yes.
grown ass adult, and then we try to apply it backwards, and it doesn't work, and then we get frustrated. And what I observe is even in myself when I'm like, hey, if you touch the stove, you're going to get burned. Right? The classic sort of vibe. And then that kid walks up there, and whether it's a universal thing. I saw it with your kid. When they're like, oh, I'll show you. I saw it tonight with French fries.
Oh,
like, say please.
For sure.
And then she came back and grabbed a handful and then threw them on the ground.
Half on the ground for Willow, stuffed the other in her mouth. And if she could give me the fingers, she probably would have.
Right. But there's that moment on but it's because we know that that's a waste of food. We know that that's not going to go well. We understand that, but the logic is there not for kids. And I think sometimes what happens is we forget to put ourselves back in their spot. I'm not saying let the kid touch the stove. I'm simply saying like, I think the bigger challenge is we allow ourselves to get super frustrated. You guys are still in a really lovely phase.
Yeah.
But you're going to start teeing up. Terrible twos is coming, and it's going to start teeing up when that stuff. I mean, obviously we have a child psychologist on staff for the show, apparently. So like we're very lucky. But like that shift does really happen. And then as parents, we see it. I'm sure the community that listen to the show, they understand too that we have moms and dads and family members that have been through this, that look at the situation and go, oh man, you guys have no idea what's coming your way.
Well, I think it's good too, because I'm going to think about that, all of that. And I can't wait to read the rest of that later because I haven't been through that. So I'm basically commenting on stuff that's coming from a place of a single parent.
Right.
And trying to understand it's not something I can do here. And we didn't read the whole thing, which is I'd rather do it like that and say, hey, we're ill-equipped or not 100%. Prepared and stop.
Well, it's real. We don't want to, like
you.
We've said, we're not going to sit here and make the show like an overly produced piece of content. So,
but what's interesting out of all of that, I think back to, I'm curious what you guys think, because I have mine, just like a question. What was the thing that was always preached to you? Like the lesson, it's like, you always need to be this. You need to, like, what was that thing for you? Mine was tell the truth. Be honest. I think if you look at most of the places, just be honest. I understand a lot of people would say that. I'm not sure that's the right. I think it comes with a lot more. Don't touch the oven. What's more important than touching? Well, why not? I'll test you. It's like, well, you need to understand why you shouldn't touch the oven. Yeah. Be honest. Always tell the truth. I could think of a lot of situations in my life where the truth would have actually done me damage. I can actually think of a lot of friendships and people I've lost because I was.
But as a kid or as an adult?
As an adult. Yeah.
Because our world as adults is way trickier than it is as kids. Like you go back to it. Think about playground rules, right? I think back to the funny thing is, as much as technology comes up and we see technology shift and there's iPads and phones and all this stuff for kids to communicate on, playground rules still are the same. When they hit the playground, they don't have any of that stuff. It's back to the old analog days. We're back to the Amish world. Yeah. Right? It's just straight up human energy. That's all you got. And I think back to that and I think about, for me, I think about field day. Hell, it might have been 1989 with Ms. Barbara's Crest. It might have been in 5th grade. I think I was in middle school though. But this one girl, I think her first name was Lacey. She liked me or whatever. And she stepped in front of me and tripped me and pushed me down. You know, like the old, like you're walking side by side and you step in front of it and push me down, which was really embarrassing in front of my friends, like as a kid. But that was her way of flirting with me at the time. That's playground rules. Like she was trying to show me that she liked me and she was trying to treat me as the same, because boy language was, that's what we did to boys. And she was attempting to do the same thing, and it was the same vibe. And later on, like we talked and we became friends, and she's a good person. I have no issue, like whatever. But playground rules were, there was no technology. There was nothing else. It was just us making a communication, doing things. I listened to my kids. I think in the first episode of A Wonderful Day.
Yeah.
Taylor asked my kids where they met one of their friends, and Finley says on the playground. Mm-hmm. Playground rules, man. It's legit. It's a real thing.
Well, it's interesting too, because we're not there at that point with Evelyn yet, where we're teaching her something like that, honesty.
You don't teach it. It's just raw. Yeah. Well, I guess you do teach honesty, but like.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes honesty has a negative, it might hurt a little bit, or it might have an effect, but trusting the people, being honest with the right people that can help you through a hard situation. I don't think you can teach that maybe to, whatever age, but I don't know. It's just a really interesting point. And I think I say that from the place of somebody who's I always try to be honest. And it's really hard sometimes, even as an adult.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse as an adult, to be honest.
Far worse. Because who's going to help you?
Well, the pain's greater.
Yes.
I think the pain threshold for honesty as an adult is much higher. Or the not the threshold, rather, but the pain effects are much higher.
Yes.
Like the pain is greater as an adult than it is as a kid. Like as a kid, we saw it today, right? We saw Evelyn bonk her head.
Yeah.
She bonked her head. It hurt. Yep. Clearly, she cried. It's a nice goose egg.
Yeah.
Kids do that.
Yeah.
I would say after about 20 minutes or so, maybe 30.
Not even. It was quick.
Back to normal.
Oh, I'd be a wreck. I'd be a drama
goose
queen.
egg on her head, still back to normal.
I'd be like,
I have a scar on my arm. I have bad knees. I have all this pain, and I still think about the pain threshold. She's bouncing back like it's like, I'm good to go, bro. Let's do it.
Another Joker quote. Wisdom doesn't come with age. It comes with pain.
There you go.
Something like that.
Which is, I mean, pain is truth.
Wisdom doesn't. Yeah.
Ugh, that's a hard statement to make.
That sucks. Pain is truth.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
Pain is truth. Honesty is not always easy. That's why it's hard to do. That's why it's a lesson to be learned. Oh,
look at you.
Full circle.
Look at you doing
That's crazy.
This segue.
Always be honest. Carefully.
Carefully is a key
Carefully
word.
honest. Yeah.
Carefully is a key word.
I think too, it's really interesting too, because I think a lot of kids, what they see on, maybe when they get off the playground at a certain age, or they hop on their phones or whatever, is not the real world.
Ah.
It's all a filter. Not all of it.
Not just kids though.
Adults too. It's fun hiding behind user 30946, whatever, where you can do everything. But I think I was telling you this earlier. It's like, I hope all these people realize that their kids are going to get their user data from their legacy accounts and be able to see every comment you left on every video ever.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine like going like, instead of like right now, if my parents, like when they do, like my parents pass away, I'm left with a legacy of stuff.
Yes.
And it's physical items.
Yeah.
My parents are not very digital at all. So I'm going to dig through all their stuff. I'm going to find all kinds of random things. Right. But then at some point, it's going to be digital stuff. And you're left with this digital stuff. And you go through and you look at all the time. You're like, holy crap, my parent was a troll. Epic level troll. Why did they comment on so many Facebook posts so angry?
Why were they liking this and that? Why were they over here? I'll just say this. I had someone who had access to my my Instagram account and was managing some things for me. And I finally got back in my Instagram account. I was like, why is this what my, whatever the FYP is on Instagram, I was like, why is this what all these like hunky shirtless guys?
Oh, right.
Why is this all feeding me this? And then I realized, because I requested my data.
Yep.
Very odd.
Yep.
Very weird.
Yep.
It's my business and I didn't even feel like it was.
Yeah.
And I think I was thinking that last night after seeing some real negative comments. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. So we joke about the algorithm. my peer group jokes about the algorithm a good bit.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're just being idiots. So my algorithm is mostly like stupid mountain bike things.
Yeah.
Because I like mountain biking. Or food.
Good.
Because I love cheeseburgers. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's good. Right. Or one time I was like, man, that's a cool looking tattoo. And I clicked it.
Okay.
Right. And it happened to be on a young lady.
Okay.
And now my feed is nothing but like if I hit the search bar, it's so much like half naked people.
It triggered it.
With tattoos. And it's like, man, I was actually admiring the artist. Like I have a friend who's a tattoo artist. Like I'm literally looking at this as I'm not trying to just, but
understanding, it's good that you said all that, because understanding, I've had so many people, it's like, man, I used to be on there, but I was on there for like 6 months and all I saw was like twerking and booty shaking and all this nonstop.
Is that
every
TikTok,
single
you mean?
video. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, because I knew what it means.
yeah.
It's feeding you what you're watching.
Yeah, it's kind of sad when you get caught in a lie.
It's like I was like, when you started talking about your FYP, I was like, please don't go too far. Don't go too far. It's like burgers, mountain biking. Yeah. Or food, mountain biking.
Well-
and then it's like this one time, it's like,
oh,
yeah.
because I'm conscious of it. Like
Sure.
I understand it. Like I'm not ignorant to the fact of how the algorithm works. But
Yeah.
like, man, I still get more than I want to out of that situation.
Oh, Taylor.
Yeah, well
up,
played.
baby?
She
Oh.
teed it. Yeah, she teed it up.
I got you.
That was well done.
Well, it's funny too.
That was a complimentary one though.
yeah.
Not to me. Not to me, folks. Not to me. Holy crap, that went sideways.
The algorithm isn't there either to befriend you. The algorithm's
It's
there
raw,
to
though.
keep you. The algorithm's there to keep you on it.
But
Taylor
it is
keeps raising her hand.
destroying it right now. It is one don't do it. God bless America.
You did it.
It is scary to me how insane, like once that algorithm kicks in, how dangerous it can become,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so it becomes a little bit of a game of responsibility. Like we have a chance to learn a lesson. I learned a lesson. Like you see a tattoo and it happens to be
careful.
on anybody.
Yeah.
What if you click that, chances are they're going to be semi-naked. And from that point forward, you're going to get fed a bunch of like hunky, either really good looking dudes or really good looking ladies or really good looking people. Doesn't matter. That's going to happen to me. So instead I'm like, just don't click on it.
Yeah.
I just don't. So instead, it's like, mountain bike stuff. And every once in a while, I'll get fed like a weird mountain bike thing. I just make sure not to look at it. Like I see it, and I'm like, just scroll past.
Well, and I've been on it. I haven't been on it much really in the past 6 months. I mean, I get on it, but I don't spend a lot of time just watching content like I used to, which has been good for me, I think. But I've seen the algorithm. I've watched the algorithm grow too, where you had to like click it. You had to address it now.
Right.
Where it's like Matt Rife, it's a comedian, young cat, good looking dude. Hilarious.
He's
just
stunning.
Blowing up. Matt, I love you, bro. Well, I can't even call Mr. Rife. Whatever. But every time I don't like videos. I don't want my algorithm to get set. I want to see everything. I want to see everything that's going on. Every time his videos come up, it's feeding it to me like crazy because I enjoy watching his stuff. And I'll like sit there and I'll watch it. And then it's like, okay, I didn't click it, so I won't see it every time. It's like every time he posts somewhere or he's tagged, I guarantee I see it. And I watch it every single time.
Yep.
Because I like it.
Yep. It's kind of interesting, just to put that in parallel, just like this idea that at the end of the day, like even inside of that space, we can learn something.
Yes.
Right? We can learn the simple idea of like not clicking on something.
Yes.
We can learn good things. Like there's things to take away from it. I think like in your community, it's about a positivity vibe, and that's very good. I learned that by proxy talking, by the fact that like I assumed that TikTok was mostly drama because that's what I saw.
Yeah.
And a lot of dances that are just not for me. It's just not my style. But what I've seen from that though is I've seen like more people like interested in building relationships and community and this kind of thing. I've seen some really funny stuff like this guy that does this hilarious talks about Southern language. Mm-hmm. It's super funny because I relate to it. Like it's funny to me. or I've seen a couple of mountain bike things, or if whatever my wife has shown me, like again, proxy talking. It's fascinating to me because I exist. If I go to Instagram, it's the same vibe, same thing. I can dig down that hole. Meanwhile, back in Facebook, it's just arguments. I'm not knocking it. It's just become this thing of like, I have groups that I'm in, and that's the value of Facebook for me now. It's like just these groups. I pop in, check on my groups, dip out because I just don't want to be a part of it.
Well, and the good thing, because I got rid of Facebook years ago, and I was not planning on being on social in any way. And I got a Facebook page or whatever a few months ago, and I basically just reposted some of my old content, TikTok content, and we've grown a community there based off the right kind of videos. You know, not just some dumb stuff or something that helped people, and not something that caused controversies. Easy, low hanging fruit. You said that. You said it multiple times, but I think it was the episode 0. We talked negativity is the low hanging fruit. I can go on TikTok right now, and I could post some alert or some red flag, like to hook everybody and destroy somebody. Or go at somebody or say something without saying something or whatever. It'll get a ton of views. It ain't worth it. I guess it is to some people, but it's why?
Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's like, what are you chasing?
Yeah.
Like if you're just chasing views, that's one thing. But I would challenge anybody to say, like, if you're just chasing the single view, why not chase one that has more value? Like,
sure.
Why not chase something that has, like, it's not just a view, it's chasing like a community or like-minded people or inspiration, or why not just choose something better?
Well, and I don't want to like speak for Evelyn either, but I'm sure at some point when she's older, she's not going to be proud of some of my old videos and everything that are awkward and cringy and replying and everything. But I think she'll be proud by the time she gets to the end of my journey, and that saw me like grow through that phase. Not that there was anything wrong with it. I just don't think my daughter's going to be like, oh yeah, I really love dad doing that.
I don't know. I mean, I have my own stuff too.
Yeah. And, but I think at the end of the day, she'll be like, man, he really tried. And, definition of a good person is not a perfect one. It's one that's trying to be better.
Yeah.
And, that's something we will try to instill. And, I'm constantly trying to be better. I want to be around people that want to learn something. I try and learn something every day.
What is your number one? Is it always be honest? What's your number one lesson? Is it always be honest?
Mine?
Yeah.
No.
What's the number one lesson to the world? What's your number one lesson to the world?
Oh, it's kind of depressing right now. Well, I have two right now. One is a little bit depressing, and it kind of comes from the Joker. And I quote the Joker a lot because I think it's an amazing character. And I think of the Joker as a character, if you apply that to some people in life, the Joker wouldn't have maybe been bad if he had one good person around him that was honest with him. So I think that's good, or one good friend, or felt like he fit in somewhere.
Sure.
And one of those quotes was, this might be not the most appropriate thing for kids, but,
that's for anyone.
Yeah. You quit looking for monsters under your bed when you realize there are people around you in your life.
Oof.
And that sucks. And so that's depressing, but I think a lot of people will relate to it. And I think I said this, I might have said this in podcasts before, or I might have told you, somebody asked me one time in a live what I would want to teach. And I really like history. I like the idea of history, and I studied that. But history is where we learn a lot, and from those people that hurt us and everything. History is not really where you can find a whole lot of hope. There's always little bits and little cherubs. And if you guys didn't see the last episode, was that this episode or last episode?
No, it's this.
That was this episode. That is history showing a sign of hope.
Right.
That is about your daughter's future.
Right.
Future is where you find hope.
It's good.
I'd rather teach the future. The future are our children. People need to care more about them. If you think people care enough about children in this world, you're either ignorant, and there is never enough. There is never enough care. We're never good enough for the children because they're perfect. They really are. They're poopy, snotty little balls of flesh that love everything and try and eat everything. They're little animals.
Right.
And we're blessed to have them. And I don't think a lot of us change all that much. And we just need help.
I think the scariest thing about, I was telling Taylor this earlier, the scariest thing about being a parent is I raised my kids a very specific way. We used descriptors, like non-descriptors. Like, so we wouldn't say someone's tall or skinny or brown or white or black or whatever. We just said, that guy over there or that person over there is what we really said. In the blue shirt. We did that for a reason because I wanted to see how long I could get my kids to, and try and instill in them this idea that like, we don't have to equate certain body things to whatever. I just wanted them to understand that like everybody has a feeling, if I could impart it. And then one day they came back from school and they suddenly had these new descriptors that weren't mine. So the real thing that's scary to me, and it's sad and it's tough, is that the world is going to educate our children whether we like it or not.
Correct.
So if we don't bust our ass to make the world a better place, just consider the fact that despite, no matter how much energy you put into them, no matter how much you could helicopter the hell out of your kids, but at the end of the day, the world is still more powerful than you, and they're going to educate them in a way that if you ain't ready for it and you hadn't prepared them, they're going to get burned into that situation, whatever it is, no good or bad. It doesn't matter what it is. There is no good or bad in that conversation. It is what the world is going to propose, and your kids need to be able to handle it. But there's one truth in all of that that's beautiful that I think you guys have talked about for a long time, and that truth is love. Yeah. If your kids understand love, true love, like being friendly, love in that capacity, then they can see through all that shit, things through everything. And they know whether or not, like me, where my kids, I tried to teach them, try and avoid conflict by making them conflictless, right? Sure. But my kids know love. So at the end of the day, they know that you want to love people, right? You want to be cautious. And you say that, and then you have to turn around and be like, well, you got to be cautious. There's all these rules to love. There's all this stuff. Yes, I'm not denying that too. But like, at least my kids know that like at the end of the day, that's a human being. And our goal is to love human beings and make sure that it doesn't mean anything more than that, but at least give them respect and dignity and go forward. It's tough, man. It's tough. There's nothing easy about this situation, but at least with love, there's a chance.
Well, and I think kind of piggybacking what you say, I think adults, we all have a responsibility to treat everything with a little bit more compassion. Yeah. And it sucks sometimes, and it's really hard, and I'm guilty as any of adults. But when you start looking at it that way, it's like, you might not like that person, but that person's kid might be teaching your kid. So it's better if I've said this, I say this a lot, if we all treat each other like children in a respectful manner, it's like, okay, this is what you did wrong to me. And this is where honesty, I think, is a huge thing. This is what happened. This is why I felt this way. This is what we can do to fix it. And if we can't do that, that's okay. Yeah. But we have to, but people need to just talk to people more. Yeah. Maybe, and realize that I think they need to shut off their phone, get off media, go out, go to a park. I don't know, do something. Go spend your day without technology and the news and the media, and tell me the percentage of pretty good, what do you call it when people meet? Interactions with your fellow human. Yeah. 95%, if not higher, is probably pretty good. Yeah. You're going to have those days. Now, if you go out and some guy cuts you off or something like that and you want to pummel his face in, Not that that's happened to anybody in this room, but if something like that's usually me, by the way. No, it's this is funny. This is a funny go back too, because after I almost used the restroom in my car on accident, traffic became like people driving crazy became a lot less offensive to me.
Right.
Because I was like, maybe they just have to poop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you
enough.
think just everybody, it's like, well, they were mean. I said this to my community before. They want me to do t-shirts too. I think it'd be great if we all had some light or like a thing that went on. It's like that like gave everybody a signal of how okay we were, where it's like a fragile sticker. I want to do a shirt. It's like handle with care. I'm fragile right now. Or it's like, okay, they're at a red light right now. You might not want to bother them, or they're at a yellow light. I think that's too good for people. If you see somebody with a red light on it that doesn't want to say it, maybe you ask them if there's anything you can do for them.
Yeah.
Damn. That's all. Red light, yellow light, green light. World's in trouble, but there is hope. There's a future. The world's been in trouble before. And guess what? We've always made it. I think we need to think about the stars and the future and the space and come together. That paper, I gave him the paper from the Mobile Register back when we landed on. It's right there. There it is. Like, that's awesome. Like, this is astronauts walk on the moon, a giant leap for mankind. People around Earth dance, cheer as the world hails Apollo 11 landing. World sees televised adventure.
Unification at that point. We were all unified.
We're still here. And it's happening right now.
But the crazy part is we're all still unified.
Correct.
We just forget.
Yeah.
Like, we forget that we're all together on the exact same rock, hurling around the sun at, pardon my ignorance, I can't remember my fifth grade.
Very fast speed.
A very fast speed. That's a very well done, producer. Thank you. And that's happening. We're all on that same situation.
Together.
Yeah. What we need is aliens.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Because that would just be like, oh, well, we're not alone, so we're all the same.
Oh, I think it'd bring us all together real quick if some big ass thing landed.
It doesn't even have to be bad. It could be a good thing. It could be the nicest aliens on Earth. I'm just saying, like, the reality is, like, we tend to forget. Unfortunately, right now, the meta is that it takes tragedy for us to bring us together.
Oof.
And why shouldn't it be the other way? We should be looking at the fact that, like, man, there's a lot of cool stuff in this world.
I think there's a lot of people watching probably right now, and I think us in this room too, where we thought of a big one right there. I know I thought of a big one.
Right.
And that was 9/11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was hell on earth, and we all saw it.
Yep.
And we all got terrified. And if you weren't terrified, that's inhuman. And we all came together real quick.
Yep.
That's the humanity in us.
The war in Ukraine for many people.
Oh,
same boat.
Yes.
Right?
It's still happening.
Right.
Like,
it's still going on. So we can take all these tragedies, but what about, like, so we remember those, right? And that's the thing is, like, but what about the celebrations?
yeah.
It's the same thing when someone passes away.
Yeah.
Everyone comes together.
You're right.
Speak all of these kind words about someone, and it's like, why weren't you speaking this when they were Earthside?
Right.
You know, people say that stuff all the time. They were so kind, so compassionate. They had a zest for life, and it's like everyone waits until then to say it.
It's absolutely truth.
I don't know when the YOLO stuff happened, and I'm not making a joke here. Kind of, because YOLO's funny, and one of our friends has a YOLO tattoo, and I always give her crap for it because she hates it. She got it on her wrist, and I'm like, every time I see her, I'm like, YOLO, and I just give her crap, and she gives it back real nice. But I feel like that time when people like were thinking that and saying that,
Yeah.
we felt that. I don't know when that was, but it kind of, you only live once. It's like, that wasn't taken in a depressing way. It's like, hell yeah, let's be wild and free.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it is interesting that death is a trigger for remembrance. Like we almost exemplify the dead. Like we put them up on this pedestal, and it is interesting if we take back that same vibe and be like, wait a second, that same person was there the whole time.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we've talked about from the very beginning, which is like, I feel like the biggest theme is somebody being a little more friendly, being slightly more friendly, just that little, just adding that little bonus.
Yeah.
I think that changes a lot if we remember that. So instead of reacting, like we were making the joke about the car thing earlier, I had this guy cut me off, and and like the pause was, I wanted to be mad.
Yeah.
And I stopped and I took a second. I stopped the car, rolled down the window, blocked traffic, ready to like be ragey. And then when the guy, I saw who it was, I apologized. And he was still mad.
Oh yeah.
And I had to let it go. And it's not that I'm not I'm not Ric Flairing myself. Woo! Oh, yeah. But I am saying like that moment was, I genuinely was sorry. Like I really upset that guy. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, sir. Like I am legitimately sorry. Whether he receives it or not is not on me.
Yeah.
That's the key. You can't worry about the reception. You can only worry about what you gave. You can't care about where it goes.
And that might go back to Laura, what Laura said.
Yeah.
Full circle. Number 2.
Yep.
You don't always get closure.
Yep.
You don't always have newsletter.
Good point.
You don't always have control.
God.
And that sucks.
Laura was a little bit deeper than we planned on.
Laura pulled it back.
Laura's cutting deep. Yeah. You don't get to see the reciprocal effect of that.
No. I think sometimes that's good though. Because maybe you don't want to know what he was going through.
Yeah.
Oof. That sucks. And it, it's good too, because I think some, like this one feels like very heavy to me. This one feels heavy, and it feels like it's kind of been in some dark places. But I think it's important to talk about, to speak honestly. Damn, I'm going back to being honest, huh? And sometimes honesty sucks and it's heavy. Maybe I think people need authentic people, and that we're here because there's a lot of negative things, but we believe in a brighter future.
Yeah.
And I believe it's attainable. I believe it takes every single one of us, though, to strive to be a little bit better every day. If everyone was 1% a better person, 1%, what did you say? Kinder or friendlier tomorrow, and move mountains.
Yeah. Just 1%.
Just 1% tomorrow, it would change the world. It might not change yours, or it'd save someone's life, guaranteed.
And that is a great way to say goodbye.